yoga today. Everybody's been maybe partying real hard all weekend. Time to get you a little bit unwound. Just a bit of preparation before we start. You're not going to need a whole lot of space. It's about as much as you can step slightly wider than your shoulders, and about as long as you can physically step. Also probably want a little bit of water or something squishy underfoot. And that way, whenever we're going to our knees, it's all nice and comfy and cozy for you. Now, something that when we get ready to teach yoga is I'm not that flexible. I can't bend or move certain ways. You know yourself better than anyone else. I do urge you to challenge yourself a little bit. Most poses are going to have kind of a range from start to finish. You don't have to go all the way into it. Take your time. And we're going to get settled with some breathing. And while we wait for everybody to get their spaces set up, I'll go into a little bit about what we're doing over here at VR Yoga and a bit about myself. I said to start with, my name is Castiel, and I've been a member of the furry fandom for a long time. You lose track after a little while. But professionally, I was a systems architect in what I'll call my prior life. Fancy way of saying that I professionally solved a lot of problems. Well, like with a lot of us, lives changed around the pandemic, and I moved on to trying all sorts of new and better things, putting that sort of problem-solving bend to work. And when Furality Aqua came around, I ended up meeting a lot of very friendly faces and making a lot of good memories. And one of those was just showing some friends a few stretches and other things that I'd been working on as just a hobby throughout the pandemic. And I got one of the best responses that I will never forget. It's that I had changed someone's life. I had made them feel better. So we decided to make it a little bit consistent and started doing regular classes. And we're now up to 3 classes a week, all run through this yoga world that was developed by a member of our community. And we've kept it going ever since. Just helping people move and breathe better. And there's a common sort of, I would say, misconception about yoga and stretching. You have to be extra bendy, or you shouldn't stretch before big workouts, things like that. I like to think that the mobility and the flexibility really just helps support you through everything else you're going to be doing in life. So it's an important addition, and especially after a busy weekend, always good to take some time for some active recovery in your schedule. Now, this is going to be pretty easy and low impact. We're going to start right into it. Everybody ready behind me? We'll turn around, we'll get to face the class. We're going to take a nice, even standing position. Feet not quite together, not too far apart, just comfy. I'm going to start deep breaths, about 4 seconds in, holding for a couple at the top and bottom. Really want to feel chest in the middle expand. Start to settle your weight through your feet. Get nice and grounded and centered. Maybe check in on the shoulders in case they're trying to sneak up towards your ears. That will happen a lot. Then we'll start moving our arms along with our breathing. We're going to reach out wide and tall as we go through yoga warm-ups, really focusing on the motion, not really going for any sort of repetition, just trying to check in, everything's moving like it should. Keep things low and slow today. Then we'll go ahead and settle the arms over the chest, resting them either at the elbows or the upper arms. And as we go into this next part, we want to keep the hips nice and steady. We don't want to bend forward. We're going to tilt right there under the rib cage, big exhale, kind of like you're doing a crunch, but still standing up, and just let it fall forward. Now those muscles in the back might take just a second to let go. That's totally okay. A deep breath in. We're going to lift that right shoulder, tilting ourselves to the left. Then on that same spot, extend the spine. Start your way rolling around that middle point. And nice and slow. Wait for each muscle group to hand off to the next one. We're very resilient creatures. We've got lots of things to take over. We want to make sure things are activating when they should be. And we'll switch directions. And work ourselves back to the center. Just relaxing those arms for a second. We'll go ahead and slide the feet in together, standing up nice and tall like someone's pulling a string on top of your head. And hands towards the hips like we're feeling fancy, and we're going to move them around that center line, trying to keep the head right over top of the feet. Get ourselves centered back up. And if you were at the session with our friends at Soaring Fitness yesterday, you'll recognize this one a little bit. And we're gonna Finish it out a bit different way. Get myself turned around here. Always important to pay attention to your space. Make sure you've got plenty of room up in front of you. Deep breath in, we're gonna go up nice and tall again, reach tall. Maybe a little bit of a lean back, stretch down that middle. Then on the exhale, we're gonna come forward, folding at those hips. Just let the arms and head hang. One of our goals for this session was to see how close we can get some of you to touching your toes, but for now, let's not reach for them. Just letting that upper body hang and relax. Deep breath in, let's rise all the way back up. Reaching tall, and if you're one of us in VR, we'll go ahead and clear those palms a little bit, moving the controllers either to the fingertips or to your wrists. Good spots for them. As we come back down, folding again, we're going to lean forward a little bit onto those hands. Walk them out most of the way. Keeping ourselves a nice triangle shape through the body. Hips up nice and high and pressing the weight back through those heels down into the mat. If those legs are a little bit tight, feel free to shift your weight to either side just a bit. Kneading motion back into your mat. And we get to have a little bit of fun moving from pose to pose. As you breathe in, we're going to shift that weight forward and drop the hips. Big exhale. Letting the hips and thighs and knees all rest on the ground. Eyes out towards the horizon, heart forward. Deep breath in, we're gonna shift the hips back, sitting towards the heels. Stretching the arms out in front of us, big reach. Just let the shoulders and back open up. Breathe. Deep breath in, slowly rising back to all fours. And want to set those hands right about under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And move on to something called cat-cow. As we breathe in, we're going to tilt the head back and perk the tail, arching the belly towards the floor. And then with the exhale, we're going to round through the other way, tucking the head and hips in, arching the back to the ceiling. We just want to keep that going for a few breaths, up and down, flexing through each section of the spine. And we'll center ourselves back up, walking our way back to both knees. We'll come back up and get to check in on our center line. Make sure you're nice and steady and stable. Head over heart, heart over hips. Hips nice and in line with the mat. And we're going to bring up that left knee. A bit of a lunge. This should be a stable and comfortable position. If you're a bit wobbly side to side, just move that front knee around until you're good and steady. But ideally, we want those hips to be nice and in line with our mat, so that as we inhale, feel a little bit of a lift. Exhale and shift forward from the hips, trying to keep as upright as we can. Feel free to rest your hands on that front leg if you like, or let them relax to the sides. Mostly focus on opening up through the hips. And when we're stretching that front ankle, we're being nice and stable about it. No wild movements or anything like that to make the knee angry or anything. Deep breath in, shifting back to center. And we'll slowly and steadily switch those legs around. Things should be feeling nice and open on that side. Get yourself good and steady. Deep breath in. And exhale and forward. Deep breath in, back up almost all the way to the center. And we'll just rotate our way around, have ourselves a seat. Now in yoga, you get a free pose just for sitting. I like to call it easy pose. Getting those feet in together. Heels back in towards yourself. Sit up nice and tall. You can open up for those breaths. Able to feel that breathing nice and full through the chest, opening up through the belly. Now with a deep breath in, again feeling ourselves lift a little bit from the middle. And exhale, we're going to move forward from the chest. And here you can hold on a bit to the feet, just a couple of fingers, pressing those elbows down against the knees and thighs just a little bit. And we want to fold from the hips, try to move from the chest. If you feel yourself starting to curl over, that won't feel quite so nice. And if you get to a point of tension, that's exactly what we're looking for. I want you to get right there and just hang out. Don't push past it. Don't shy away from it. Just breathe. Deep breath in, slowly rise. And here we can extend those legs. Just shaking them out a little bit. And guess what? You moved right into another yoga pose, sitting up nice and tall like this, sometimes known as staff pose. You can take a little bit of weight off your spine by pressing down against the floor at either side if you ever like. What we're going to use it for, we're going to take a deep breath in, and it's always good to give yourself a hug. We're going to pull in that left knee, big hug. Now with that nice and stable, as we move into the next stretch, if you ever feel like you want a little bit more out of it, you just gotta scoot that foot over to the right side of your right leg. Elsewise, we're gonna reach that left hand back, and then use that right elbow for a little bit of leverage against the knee. Exhale and twist. Just relax into it with your breathing. Deep breath in and let that right arm loose and rotate our way back around to the center. Feel free to shake out that left leg a little bit if you need to. And we're gonna reel the right one in all the same. Big hug. And when you're ready, deep breath, reach that right hand back. Sink it in and twist. Breathe. Deep breath in, right around to the center again. I did say we were going to work on seeing if you could touch your toes. You might cheat a tiny bit though. I'm going to breathe in and reel both legs in. Again, give yourself a hug. And oh look, feet are right there. Go ahead and grab them. Congratulations, you have touched your toes in yoga class. Hooray! Well, now we're gonna work on a bit of progression. You can start walking those heels out. And this is a little bit more of a steady and stable way to try and bend it forward and get all those stretches you need. Find that point where you feel everything start to pull and just hang out. Your back's ever feeling tight, you can do something like this and just really relax through the back, let it all just go forward. And as you feel things relax, you can just scoot those heels out a little bit more. It's a great thing about yoga, very self-paced. Get to know yourself. Get to focus on just improving you. Sometimes we like to take a little bit longer and poses with strong muscles like the legs. Help everything really settle in. And if you've been dancing all night, this probably feels awesome. Now go ahead and gently let go of those feet. Nice and slow, deep breath as you rise all the way back up. Always want to move slow as we get out of poses. Let everything settle. A little shake of the feet will help the legs. Now here is where we're going to meet back up. VR being VR. Be right like this. And you gotta move any trackers around. You gotta move any furniture. I hear cats are an especially decent hazard. And I want to show you how to do yoga. They're much better at it than most of us. We're gonna be laying on our backs, so like me, I've got my waist tracker on my back. Just right around to the front. And once everybody's settled, you can take that deep breath in. Again, you want to feel yourself lift just a little bit from the breath. Then a nice big exhale, we're going to roll that spine out along the floor. All the way. And then arms up over the head, whether you can extend them all the way out, or if you just got to fold them in over the head. Important thing is we got to get along. Let yourself breathe. Feel the breath open up your middle, through the chest and the belly. And good deep breathing. You might be able to even feel it a little bit in the sides. Now that we've taken the weight off the spine, you can really relax it in against the ground. Deep breath in, and on the exhale, we're gonna reel that left leg up and in again. Grab it with both hands. A little bit of a pull back towards your chest if you can make it. If you can't, don't worry about it. Just trying to stretch a little bit more through the hip. A lot of strong muscles going on in the hips. They get tight a whole lot. Good to take some time to help them loosen back up and unwind. Along with your legs, they do all the carrying for you throughout the day. Big exhale, and we're actually going to shift that up knee off to the right. Just pressing it down with that right hand and use the left for a bit of stability. And when we say press with the right hand, we're just looking for a bit of insistence. Just enough pressure to keep it from bouncing back the other direction. And just use that breath to help everything settle. Deep breath in, we're gonna rotate that knee back to the center and let the leg extend out again. Swapping over to the other side, reel in that right leg and give it a hug. Deep breath in, just use that left hand to guide the knee over towards your left. Setting that right down for stability, big exhale with the pressure. Deep breath in, slowly shifting that knee back up. And we'll just set the foot down, keeping the knee up. Bring the other one up to join it. Pulling our feet in, close as we can get it to ourselves. And with a big exhale, just let those knees drop open to either side. Setting the hands on top of the thighs and knees, and again, adding a little bit more consistent pressure. Use that breath to help things settle down against the floor. Now, deep breath in. We're going to extend the arms and legs, get long again. This time, big reach, big stretch. And on your way back in, exhale. We're going to lace the fingers in just behind the head. Relax the head in your hands, and as you exhale, we're going to lift up and forward very gently. Maybe check back in on those toes, give them a recount. And big exhale, gently use the hands to place your head back down onto the ground. And your hands can come around just in front of your chest and do a little bit of a gentle salute to yourselves. Taking some time out of a busy weekend to breathe and move. Just that little bit of an internal bow to your efforts. And a bit of a thank you from me. And those hands can fall away where you can feel free to remain one with the floor, as we say, for a few minutes. I tell you a little bit about us, and you can keep track of me. I hope everybody's comfy and cozy. If you'd ever like to join us for any of our sessions, the VR Yoga group is vryoga.9136, I think is the short identifier for that. And we hold classes Monday and Wednesday currently. 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time or Mountain Daylight Time. Best way to really keep track of those to join our Discord and keep track of those scheduled events there. They posted whenever we have a class. If you think what we did is super neat, we are 100% supported by you in the community. You can pop on over to ko-fi.com/vryoga and check us out there. If you'd like to personally keep track of me, and especially as we develop this practice and add in things like streaming and recorded lessons, those will be over at twitch.tv/Castiel Sensei. And if you'd like to keep track of me with the usual social media posts, I think I posted a burger last week. It was kind of funny. And as well as any other yoga announcements, or as I teach myself art, I'm over at castielsensei.bsky.social. All in all, Furality, I thank you for having us, and very much hope that you enjoy it. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your convention. Until I see you around, whether you see me or one of our world developers, Dooley, we're going to be wandering around the convention, happy to answer any questions. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.